Hey guys, what's up? As you can see, I'm back with a different video because I'm not singing in it and I'm also in a bit of a different setting. So after learning how to edit a little bit, and um, sorry, I'm awkward. I learned how to edit a little bit, so I decided that I would do my first Q&A so that way I could like get to know y'all and y'all could get to know me, you know? So here we are now. So I have a total of 37 questions, including questions that have been asked more than once. So as I go along, I'm going to be shouting out each of y'all respectively for every question that y'all asked. So I hope y'all enjoy this, and I hope turns out to be a good video. I have to go quickly for this though. So now before I start, I need to give a huge shout out to these two people because they gave the most questions out of anybody who sent in questions. At LemonVree on Instagram and at DaddyOSwagCat on Instagram as well. LemonVree sent about 10 questions and DaddyOSwagCat sent 9. I was not expecting anyone to send that many questions. So thank y'all for sending that in, and seeing as y'all sent the most in, we're going to start with y'all's questions. So starting with at LemonVree, first question is, how's it going? It's going pretty well. Thanks for asking. I'm doing well. Her next question is, what's something to do when feeling down? Um, for me, when I'm feeling down, I usually just listen to music that is calming, music that helps me, really. Another thing to do when feeling down, maybe just rest. Take a breather. Just maybe like release yourself from the stress that life gives you and just take a personal rest because that's what you need sometimes. Her next question is, what makes you happy? Can't say I know when the last time I was genuinely happy was, but something that makes me feel happy more often than not, being with family and having a good time, because my family is my biggest part of my support system, so yeah, it has to be being with family. Her next question is, what's a joke you know? Let me just say this right now. I am terrible with jokes. I have a good sense of humor, but I am terrible with jokes. I cannot tell them just because it ends up sounding very cringy. So, I don't think I can tell a good joke right now. I'm sorry. um, Her next question, and this is something that I appreciate someone asking, what's the hardest part about singing? Hardest part about singing in a technical way to answer that question, hardest part about singing will probably be like not overstraining yourself. Like there's some times where you feel like you're doing well with singing and you're like going along and along with it, but then you start straining your voice and that's not something you want to do. So I feel like it's definitely keeping from overstraining. I would say so. And in other manners, I would say it's like just trying to find the right type of music for you, you know? Because going into music, if you want to make that a career, I know if you're going to make music a career or just trying to go into music, it needs to be music that defines you as a person. You can't just sing any music and expect it to work. So, yeah, I would say that. Her next question is, what's something you look forward to in the future? Oh, that was an easy one. I look forward to seeing my friends again, being in school, seeing my friends in person. With this quarantine going on, it's been a lot, and I miss seeing all my friends in person, so I cannot wait to see them again once I get the chance. Next question. What is a goal that you want to accomplish? As of right now, a goal that I currently want to accomplish as a person, get through high school. I'm going into my senior year, and I'm just hoping, actually no, bigger goal within that goal. I want my last year of high school to be the one where I decided to get out and be more social, because I've been a pretty socially awkward person for the majority of my high school career. So I'm thinking I kind of want to get out more, maybe hang out with some friends, even though parties and dances and stuff aren't my thing. I'm just not that kind of person. But yeah, I would say that, yeah. The next question that she asks are, who are some people you are grateful for? pretty much everyone in my support system, my family. I'm grateful for my parents because they're the ones who brought me into this world and raised me up to who I am now. My siblings because they've always been there for me and they are there to knock some sense into me when I need it. My uncles and aunts because they give like the wisdom that me as a teenager could really use. And my grandparents because along with everybody else, they're extremely supportive of what me and my siblings choose to do. So I would say I'm grateful for all of my family, really. I'm also grateful for my friends and my fellow supporters, those who help me out with like pursuing music. So I'm grateful for all those people, really, people that I know and support me. The next question that I have are, what's something that you find yourself thinking about often? I often think about what's to come in the future. Like for me, I know I'm just a 17-year-old, but I usually sometimes think about what would it be like if I got older? Like, what would it be like to find a woman I love, get married, have children in the future? Like, I honestly think about that a lot, but at the same time, I need to focus on the here and now for right now. But to be honest, it's something that I think about kind of often, so yeah. And this last question asked by Lemon Breed was also asked by two other people, at Jomo the Melon Leaf and at Gosha Official Komodo. They all asked, what's your favorite song? Now, in general, I don't think I could give a favorite song just because I have a lot of favorite songs. I have a literal playlist of all my favorite songs. If you gave me a specific artist, then maybe I would be able to answer this question, but overall, I can't really say I have one favorite song. A few that I could name off of my list. I love Rock With You by Michael Jackson. I love Differences by Genuine. Miss Independent by Neo. Just a lot of good R&B and stuff like that. There's a lot of other artists and other types of genres that I listen to, so that's not just the only type of music I listen to. Okay, now moving on to at Daddy-O Swagcat's questions. First question that she asked is, what are your favorite shows? I'm going to leave out anime for this one because you will see why, but my favorite shows, growing up, I love shows like The Amazing World of Gumball, Adventure Time, but I also was born, I'm a 2000s kid, I was born in 2003, and I was born around the time when like some of the good shows on Nick and Disney Channel and Cartoon Network were still on the air, and I used to love watching shows like That's So Raven, Kim Possible, Lilo and Stitch. I obviously loved SpongeBob growing up. I also loved The Fairly Odd Parents, and a lot of other shows that I won't go into now. Her next question is, what's your favorite movie? My favorite movie, growing up, one of my favorite movies was The Lion King because it was the first Disney film I ever saw, and it was just a very great story, and as I got older, I just loved the story more and more as I got to know what it meant. And it's just a very great Disney film, really. I love it a lot, and I'm definitely going to show it to my kids when I'm older. Next question from Daddy-O Swagcat. What's your favorite anime movie / shows? And this was also asked by another person at Legoshi Bite Louie Every Day. You'll find out what I mean by that at. Anyway, they both ask, what's your favorite anime / show? Or just show in general. And favorite anime film? I love Ponyo and Spirited Away. Those are two very great Studio Ghibli films, and I really want to watch all Ghibli films if I ever get the chance. And favorite shows? As of right now, my favorite anime show is, hands down, BEASTARS. It is very great, and I've been into it for months, really. So I really just love it so much. But other anime that I've been into, I've recently been getting into Hunter x Hunter, Tokyo Ghoul, Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, Devil's Line, BEM. They're all very great, and I would recommend you watch all those, some of which are a little bit more mature, so just watch out. Next question, asked by Kat, is, what games do you play and on what console? One we have a Wii in our house, and we usually play stuff like Mario Kart and stuff like that. But other games that I play, I love playing interactive games like the Walking Dead game or Life is Strange. There are a lot of haters for Life is Strange out there, but I like it personally. And I usually play that on like PlayStation when I'm at my sister's house. So yeah. Her next question, ironically, how long have you been into BEASTARS? I've been into BEASTARS since late March. I found it during quarantine on Netflix, and as soon as I found it, I thought, this looks like it might be cool. Let's just say that's the biggest understatement I've made in my entire life. I ended up binging it an entire day, and then I became obsessed with it, and I'm still obsessed with it now. I have a poster in my room. I have a lot of other stuff related to it that I will not go into now. But I'm a fan. I've watched the anime, I've read the manga, and I just cannot wait to see more from it soon. Like, Paru Itagaki, she is a genius, hands down. Next question from Kat. Do you recommend any songs? Now, when it comes to what I recommend, I usually recommend fellow aspiring artists or artists that I feel like don't get enough recognition. So, if I would recommend any songs right now, I have a good friend who I know. We both go to Booker T. Washington. I know her pretty well, and she introduced me to her album not that long ago, and I loved it so much. Her name is Ryan Stone. She has an album that is on Spotify, iTunes, and probably other music services, and her album is just amazing. It has great instrumental music, it has great vocal music, and it's just very relaxing to listen to. So I would recommend you listen to that entire album. My favorite song on the album overall is Lost and Lost Part 2. Yeah, those are my favorite songs on that album. So go check her out. Give Ryan some love. She's a good friend, and she's also very supportive of me pursuing music as well. So go support her, y'all. Next question. Kat asked, do you have Belle Delphine's OnlyFans? So I didn't know what that was until I Googled, and seeing as I don't want this video to get blocked, I'm not going to explain what it is. But short answer, no, and I never will. Do I look like a simp to you? Don't answer that. Next question. She asked, how long have you been singing? Now, I've been singing for a long while. I think I first started singing when I was about 4 or 5. My earliest memories are of me singing with my siblings in front of my parents. But I didn't start taking singing seriously until I was about 13, probably 14 years old. That was when I started taking it seriously, because that's around the time when I started posting covers on YouTube. And those covers were bad, but it was how I started showing myself. And no, those covers are no longer public, so you won't be able to see them. Okay, last question from Kat is also the first question from the next person at Doodling Min Min, my good friend Minnie. We met a while ago on Instagram. And they both ask, what genre of music do you like the most? I wouldn't know exactly what my favorite genre is. I listen to a lot of different music. Like, a lot of different kinds of music. The only genre that I don't listen to often is metal, just because it's not my thing. But other than metal, I listen to pretty much a lot of other different type of music, because if it's something I can vibe to, something I can relate to, it's something that I'll most likely listen to. So, yeah. Next up, we have Doodling Min Min, who asked a couple other questions. Her next question is, what would you say is your aesthetic? If by aesthetic you mean my personal style kind of derived from my personality. I've always been a bit of a quiet person when I'm in school, quiet and awkward and shy usually. And I thought, what is a way that I can kind of break out of that without having to break out of my comfort zone? So I thought, why don't I use my quietness to my advantage and try to put it into a part of my style? So I ended up buying clothing that I felt like resembled my personality. And from there I started looking at myself in the mirrors and thinking, hold up, I actually look kind of cool. Like, let me take some pictures of this and maybe post it or whatever. Examples of these photos are that and that. Yeah, so I would say that is my style or aesthetic, really. And her last question that she asked, what kind of singer do you aspire to be? I aspire to do, as far as genre goes, I want to do R&B, soul, and ballad because those are the genres that speak to me the most. So if I could do any genre, I would want to do that one. As far as what I want to display as an artist, I would say that I want to make music that people can relate to and like they can say, "Oh my gosh, I know what you've been through," and they can like end up sharing and end up being touched by, really. So it can help music that can help people, you know? So I would say that definitely. The next question is from a person who I mentioned earlier. At Jomo the Melon Leaf, a good friend that I met through Instagram, he asked, what was your worst injury? You wouldn't believe me, but I've never broken a bone in my entire life. I have gotten scars in the past. Most painful thing I can remember going through, I once bit into a popcorn kernel and broke a tooth, and it hurt so bad. The tooth was still in my gums, so I had to pull it out myself. It was bad. But don't worry, the tooth was a primary tooth, so it grew back. We're good, y'all. Next question. I have two questions from at Adventurous Araylin. They're back to back. First question she asked is, how far do you want to go with your music? Like, do you want to be super known or... I really, I want to go far with music. I want to make it my career. I want to sing professionally, and I want to make music that people can relate to. As I've said earlier, people, would listen to my music and like think, oh, I've heard it before, or like I've been through, I've been through what this person's talking about. That's what I want to do, because I want to be a person who can reach out to those through music, you know? So that's what I want to do as an artist. Her second question was, will you be composing? I don't play any instruments. I'm trying to learn piano, but I'm still pretty bad at it. So until that happens, I'm still pretty bad with piano. Right now I'm just a singer, so no, I will not be composing. Next question comes from I apologize if I say your name wrong, at Hiya There Mate, and they ask, how old were you when you were getting into music? Now, I said that I started singing when I was 4 or 5, but I got into music when I was about 3 years old. And the story behind that, my dad put on the music video to Michael Jackson's Thriller, and when I first heard it, I was instantly entranced by what I saw in there. Like, I heard the music and it was so cool, mixed with the choreography, and I wasn't even scared by it, which was crazy because I was 3. It was just really great, and I ended up loving it. And from there, I ended up getting introduced to a lot of other artists, new school and old school, stuff like that. So, yeah, that's where music started for me. Next question comes from at Erdo the Lion. If you're a fan of BEASTARS, you get that reference, specifically the manga. They ask, what's your favorite chapter of BEASTARS? Favorite chapter, I don't know what my favorite chapter is. Favorite filler chapter is chapter 155. Now, spoilers in advance for the manga. If you are a fan and you haven't read it yet, I will enter a time slate right here for you to skip to. Now that I'm done with that, my favorite chapter is chapter 155 because we get some character development of some characters that we haven't seen in a while at that point. Their names are Bill, Peanut, and Alba. And I feel like they all grow, especially Bill. And I was actually happy to see Bill get some character development because it shows that he's really maturing as a person, really. Like, overall, it was very cool. What happened was, I forgot to say what actually happened. So, Bill, who is a tiger, he ran into a shock egg, which, if you don't know, it's a phenomenon in which a fertilized egg gets sold as an unfertilized egg, and when you crack it open, you're most likely to see an embryo or worse, a baby bird. And basically, overall, the story of that chapter is they end up nursing it back to health, and Bill gains a relationship with it and ends up questioning some certain things that he's done in the past. So I recommend you go read it if you haven't, or if you know about what I'm talking about, comment down below. Okay. Next question comes from at YanisStrong29, also known as a friend. His name is Alec. He asked, "What are those?" Did I really add that in just to get some extra watch time? Yeah. Okay. Next question comes from my friend Kennedy, at Kennedy, and she asked, "What are your goals in life after high school, if you've thought about it?" My goals in life after high school, I've really thought about going to college, but I haven't picked a certain college yet, and I know I should because I'm going into senior year, but I've thought about going into college. I'm not sure what college I want to go into. I'm also not quite sure of my major. I obviously want it to be music related, but not quite the most sure yet. So that's what I would say. Next question comes from another good friend of mine from Booker T. Her name is Zaria John, and she asked, "What do you want to pursue as a career? And if that doesn't work, what's your plan B?" Now, I already said it earlier, but I want to pursue music as a career. I want to be a professional singer, be able to put out music that people can relate to, stuff like that. If I wasn't able to, I feel like what I would do is, if music didn't work initially, I would want to get a job that would help sustain me financially and keep me in the green, because we're going to assume that I'm living by myself at that point. And I just want to be able to keep myself financially stable and keep myself good, not have any issues. So I will try to get a job to fill that in. And as I do that, I would try to see if I could squeeze music in until I could make it a full-time career. So, yeah. We have a few more questions left. The next question comes from at Cowguz. If your life had a book title, what would it be? Honestly, I don't know. Probably Lost and Confused. Just because I feel like anybody can relate to that. It's pretty vague, but you know what I mean. Next question comes from at Legoshi the Friendly Wolf. My lights just flickered. And he asks, "You have one day of being any animal you want. What do you do?" I would be a wolf, and I would just go howl with other wolves, just because that would be so cool. My spirit animal is actually a wolf. I know you think it's ironic because their wolf is in their at name, but I've said it since I was 12. That's my spirit animal personally. So yeah, that's what I would do. Next question is from at Davin1912. He asks, "BEASTARS Season 2 will be available in January of 2021. How do you feel about that?" Now, I just figured that out yesterday, and let me tell you, I jumped for joy when I figured it out, because I loved the anime, and I was very sad when it ended. So when I found out that the new episodes will be out by January, it just made me look forward to 2021. So I just have to get through the rest of this dang year. End a bad year, start a good year off with something positive, So our last question comes from at TKF77 on Instagram, otherwise known as my mother. And this was actually asked on Facebook, but seeing as it was on the same post, I decided to add this in. She said, "I love you, son. What do you really want to do with your life? What is your heart's greatest desire?" I love you too, Mom. And my heart's greatest desire, just to leave a mark on somebody, to help somebody when they need it, and to be able to help them make it through this crazy thing we call life. It's definitely something that I wish to do, because I've had people who've helped me in the past, and I want to take after them. So that's what I would say. Okay, that was all the questions that I have. If you enjoyed this Q&A, then I hope that you would like to see more of it in the future. I'm planning on doing more covers soon, probably record some now, so you'll probably see me in this same shirt again. Overall, I'm so awkward, I'm sorry. Overall, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to see sneak peeks of covers in the future, follow me at my Instagram and Twitter. If If you would like to see my previous covers, I will leave a link to a playlist down below. Also, I will also link down below the show BEASTARS in the description, just because y'all are probably wondering, what is he talking about? So if you haven't seen it, I'll add that in. And I'll also... yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, no, wait. I'll also link down below Ryan Stone's music, because I mentioned her earlier. She's a very great artist, and she really is amazing, and I feel like she needs to be heard more. She's also a good friend of mine, so why not? So, yeah. A truck just drove by. Oh, this is a mess. Okay, so overall, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and hopefully subscribe if you want to see more in the future. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time I post. Peace.